Now for question number 3, we have 35 plus 18x minus 5x squared is equal to 0. As you can see, this question is not properly arranged. Okay, so the first thing we have to do here is to rearrange this question properly. Okay, now in arranging it properly, you have minus 5x squared. The square should always come first. That's how quadratic equation used to be. The squared number is always first. So minus 5x will come first. Then the second term that is not squared will come next. So plus 18x. Then the constant comes last. Plus 35 is equal to 0. Now you can't have, it's easier to solve when the squared term is a positive. So let's convert it to a positive. We multiply everything here by minus 1. Sorry, when we multiply everything here by minus 1, the signs will change. So 5x minus 5x times minus 1, minus times minus will give you plus. So that will give you plus 5x squared plus 18x times minus 1. Minus times plus will give you minus. So it is minus 18x. Then plus 35 times minus 1 will give you minus 35. That is equal to 0. So as you can see, we multiply everything here by minus 1, and it's affected the signs, all the signs in this equation. So you multiply the first term by the constant. You have 5x squared times minus 35. That will give you minus 175x squared. You look for two numbers that when you multiply them, you get 175, and when you add them up, you get minus 18x. Now those two numbers are plus 7 and minus 25. When you have plus 7x times minus 25x, that will give you minus 175x squared. But when you add them up, you have plus 7x minus 25x. That will give you minus 18x. Yeah, the two numbers are plus 7x and minus 25x. We are going to replace minus 18x with those two numbers. Replacing them, you have 5x squared minus 25x plus 7x minus 35, then minus 35. That's the constant. You bring down the constant, minus 35 is equal to 0. Then now you can group. You group them, you group them, you group them, you group them. After grouping them, you now factorize. Remember, when you factor out 5, what's common here is 5, not 5 now. What's common? You have 5x, you also have 5x here. So the common term here, number here is 5x. You are left with just x here. When you factor out 5x, you are left with minus 5 here. Just minus 5. In this case, what's common? We have 7, just 7 here, and we have 7 here. So plus, you have 7. When you factor out 7, you are left with just x. And when you factor out 7 here, you are left with minus 5. All of them is equal to 0. So we pick out one of them here. And bring them out, you have x minus 5. Then 5x and 7, you have 5x plus 7. All of them is equal to 0. Now let's equate them. X minus 5 is equal to 0, or 5x plus 7 is equal to 0. Now let's go. You now have, when you cross minus 5, it becomes plus 5. So your x is equal to 5 here, or your 5x is equal to plus 7 cross over becomes minus 7 minus 7. Then you have to divide both sides by the coefficient of x here so that x can stand alone. So divided by 5 divided by 5. So your 5x, so the 5 will cancel out, then your x here, your x here will be equal to minus 7 over 5, and these are your final answers. Question number 4. This one is a little bit different, but it's very simple. Okay, now here's what you are going to do. You have x plus 5 raised to power 2 is equal to 36. X of 5 squared is equal to 36. Now here's what you are going to do. X plus 5 squared is the same as x plus 5 times x plus 5, right? This is equal to 36. Now here's what you do. You multiply the brackets. Just open the bracket. X times s will give you x squared. This x times 5 will give you plus 5x. Plus 5 times s will give you plus 5x. Plus 5 times plus 5 will give you plus 25. Plus 25. All of them is equal to 36. Now, here's the next thing. You add up plus 5 plus 5 plus 5x plus 5x. So x plus x squared plus 5x plus 5x will give you plus 10x plus then plus 25 is equal to 36. Now, this is not a quadratic equation. We have to move 36, cross it over to the other side. When you cross 36 over to the other side, you have x squared plus 10x and plus 25. Well, that's plus 36 crossover becomes minus 36. Minus 36 is equal to 0. Now, x squared plus 10x, let's bring it down, plus 25 minus 36. That will give you minus 11. So this is equal to 0. Now we formed a quadratic equation. We can now solve. X squared will multiply minus 11 will give us minus 11x squared. So I have minus 11x squared. You look for two numbers that when you multiply them, it will give you minus 11x squared, and when you add them up, you will get 10x. So those two numbers are minus x plus 11. So we have minus x times 11x. That will give you minus 11x squared. Then minus x plus 11x. That will give you plus 10x. So this is it. So let's substitute this minus x plus 11 into, let's replace it, this 10x with minus x plus 11. Now we have to replace this 10x with minus x and plus 11x. Replacing it, you have x squared minus x plus 11x then minus 11 is equal to 0. Now let's group. When you group them, you group. After grouping, we'll now factor out. Okay, we factorize. You factor out x here. X is here. When you factor out x, you are left with just x here. Minus here, you are left with 1. Then plus, you factor out 11 here. 11 is a common number here. So you factor out 11. You are left with x minus 1. As you can see, they have the same numbers in the bracket. So coming up here, we have, so since they have the same number in the bracket, we have x minus 1, then you have x plus 11. X plus 11 this is equal to 0. So having this, we just, is either x minus 1 is equal to 0, or x plus 11 will be equal to 0. So when you cross minus 1 over to the other side, it becomes plus 1. X is equal to 1, or x is equal to minus. So when you cross minus plus 11 over to the other side, it becomes minus. So you have x is equal to minus 11. So these are our final answers. Very, very simple. For question number 5, which is the last question we'll be solving here, we have p minus 3 times p plus 5 is equal to 20. So this one is very light and also simple. You just do the same thing we did in the previous one. You can pause this video and try it out on your own. Okay, remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel, on your notification, so that whenever I drop a video, another good video like this, you be notified. Okay, that's how you help us grow here. Now here's what we do. We open the bracket. First of all, p times p will give us p square. P times plus 5 will give us plus 5p. Then minus 3 times p will give us minus 3p. Then minus 3 times 5 will give us minus 15 is equal to 20. Then p, bring down our p square, 5p minus 3p, that will give us plus 2p minus 15 is equal to 20. You cross your 20 over to the left hand side, you have p square plus 2p minus 15. When you cross your 20 over to the other side, it becomes minus 20. So that's minus 20 is equal to 0. So you have p square plus 2p minus 15 minus 20, that gives us minus 35. So that's minus 35 is equal to 0. Okay, now let's go. Now you have minus, so this is it. We now have a quadratic equation. Here we have a quadratic equation. So we can now proceed to solving it using factorization method. Here we have p squared times 35. That will give us, so p squared times 35, that will give us minus 35p squared. You look for two numbers that when you multiply them you get 35, and when you add them you get plus 2p. Okay, those two numbers are minus 5 and plus 7. Minus 5p times 7p, that will give us minus 35p squared. Then minus 5p plus 7p, that will give us plus 2p. So the two numbers are minus 5p and 7p. Now let's replace this 2p with minus 5p and plus 7p. So we have p square minus 5p plus 7p minus 35 is equal to 0. So let's group. We'll group them. So you factor out. When you factor out, what's the common thing here is p. When you factor out p, you are left with p minus just 5, because this p is no longer there. Then when you factor, what's common here? You factor out 7. 7 is common. So plus 7, you are left with just p minus 7 divided by 7 give us 5. So this is equal to 0. Coming up here, we have, so we are going to pick, since we have the same thing in the bracket, we just pick one. P minus 5, brackets close, then we'll pick out the two numbers outside the brackets. P plus 7 is equal to 0. So it's either p minus 5 is equal to 0 or p plus 7 is equal to 0. Let's make p the separate formula. When you cross minus 5 over to the other side, it becomes plus 5. P is equal to 5, or p is equal to plus 7 crosses over, it becomes minus 7 minus 7. So these are your final answers. So do well to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Try as much as possible to share this video to anybody who you think this video might be very, very helpful to. Do well to reach out to us if you need our assistance. My email is on your screen, and also if you want to reach out to me on WhatsApp, you can also do that. See you in the next video.